Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. In this one I'll be teaching you how to create this Del Pierro design here, but you guys can use any sort of sports person or any sort of main image that you would like. This one is quite a simple one. It's not too long, it's mostly just basic techniques, but I will be showing you how to do that. So the first thing is, on your layer 0, which should just be a background, it'll be locked. I'm making mine this sort of white sort of skin color. This just makes it look more aged when we start adding the other stuff. We're then just making a box like this, and we're just typing in 2B3132, which should be a grey colour. These just work really nicely with the sort of end product I was going for. This is a more vintage design. Obviously you guys can use your own colours and all that kind of stuff. And then for the font we'll be using is Sans, and we're just typing in the name here. I think it's only one R, isn't it? Yeah, it says one R. Let's take out an R, there we go. And just extend your text along the bottom, just like this. So it lines up just on that corner there. And the 0 lines up just, or the naught lines up just about there. Take that down a tad. About there is fine. We're then just going to move that down to the bottom of our rectangle there. Move it up a tiny bit, just so it looks like it blends in, like that. This should work with most people's names, because even if they're really long names, it should still work fine. And then at the bottom there, for now we're just going to put the nation flag of the person. If you're using a sports person, obviously use the nation flag. That works really well at the bottom of the design. I will have to shift this up in a sec to fit the other text underneath, but we're just basically grabbing this collage image, and pretty much all I've done is take sort of 8 pictures on Google of in this case Del Pierro, and just sort of made a quick sort of collage. You can use as many images as you want. As you can see here, we're also smart objecting the background square and the text, so we can make the collage go over the text and the background as well. We're then going into the filter gallery up here, and the filters that we'll be using are the same ones we use for most designs, which will be half-tone, grain, reticulation. And then if you get a different colour like yellow, blue, any of that sort of stuff, just keep playing around with it and possibly try and add like black and white filters, all that kind of stuff, to get it back to the colour you're wanting. So we're then just going to quickly go into the solid colour, and we want our grey colour, which will be 2B3132. We're then creating a clipping mask, and then we're putting that on saturation, and then we're going to, where are we, exposure, and just play around with the exposure to make it slightly darker. I'm just playing around with it here, just making it slightly darker in places, correcting it slightly lighter, maybe somewhere along those lines. About there is okay. So the next thing we're going to want to do is create 2 boxes. and I'm going to make one of them white, and we're going to get another box and we'll make that the green colour. Just make this slightly bigger. That's where the main bulk of text is going to go in that section there. And then we want one at the top that's in that green colour. Now if your sports person has a flag with 3 colours in, this is pretty simple. Just select 2 of the colours. I do recommend having that sort of middle section white, just because that's where the text and all your little sort of assets are going to go. And then as you can see here, we need to add this text in, which requires us to basically move the design up a tiny bit. Let's type in that name there. That's obviously going to go somewhere about there. So I'm just going to quickly cut the video now, and I'll be back in 2 seconds when we've moved this around. So there we go, we've moved that up a little bit now to make room for that text. We're now just going to add in all of our separate assets. So we're just going to basically, if you have any sponsors, any clubs, nations, logos, they're going to go in that top section, and then any text is going to go on the section underneath. So I'm just going to drag in my assets here. So the first one is this Italian flag. Make the green section a little bit smaller. First one being the Italian flag. Second one being the Nike logo. And the third one being the Tamoil sponsor. Just like that. You might need to shift those depending on the text. I'm now just adding in sort of a bulk text. I used ChatGPT to just basically give me some text in Italian about Del Pierro, and then we're just dragging in that Juventus logo in the middle somewhere, making the box a bit smaller. And then I'm just going to basically play around with the text. So I'll be back in 2 seconds once I've done that. So there we go, we've messed around with the text there, and we're just going to drag in this square image. Basically all I did was get another image of Del Pierro and put the same filters that we put on the collage onto the image there. So just make that a tiny bit smaller, then just select it here, go into blending options, and we'll be adding a stroke and just making that sort of grey black, crease that a bit about there, which we're now going to add some filters over the top. We'll be adding a solid colour, and that is going to be the exact same colour as your main header. I recommend using, if you were doing this design, or if you were doing sort of another design, whatever that top sort of banner colour is, I recommend using that, or just in general a bright colour. But we're going to start off with the exposure, and for this image I used plus 0.42. Second one we used negative 0.0272, and the gamma correction we use 1.21. There we go. And then we're adding the solid color, which is obviously going to be our green color. There we go. And we're just changing the blend mode to darken. There we go. Obviously you guys can play around with whichever sort of blending options you want to have over yours, because every single design is different, every image has different black and whites in it. So we're then just taking the image of our actual sports person here. Now it is better if the arms are out like this, which are most common in celebrations, because it goes off of the page. It just adds a bit more to the design. And as you can see, I'm overlapping it slightly over the Juventus logo in this design. We're then just adding our sort of background color, and we're changing it to darken, just so in all these white areas of the shirt, if it's white and black, you can get away with these. There we go, ladies and gentlemen, we made that white, which is a color that works really well, which we're now going to add in that text, which is in the different sort of corners. And to do that, we're going to be using the, I believe it's the Temi font. I'm just loading up Illustrator here to get this font. It's, where are we? Oh yeah, Te personal use, which should be downloadable either on Google or the font. So we're just typing out our text here, and mine is Viva El Italia. And then we're just going to copy those into our design. So the first colour that we're going to be using is this red colour, and we're just going to position in that just over the Del Pierro, just to give it a tiny bit more depth. And move that more central as well, about there, it's fine. And then we're just going to do the same with the other two bits of text. And the Italian flag is easy to do because it's only 3 colours, so your colour palette is basically 3 colours. If you have a more complex colour scheme, then it might not be as striking, but it will work just as well. This just looks much better doing it this way because it's only 3 colours. So the last part of this tutorial is just adding these wallpaper textures. Now I'm really happy I found these wallpaper textures because this one works incredibly well when making things vintage. We put the first one on difference, we then copy the wallpaper again and we put it on lighting. And there we go, guys, this is the finished product. It's not too complex, but it does work really, really well. If you guys are interested in creating this exact design, then the assets are in the description if you need to download them, or if you guys want to make your own in this sort of same thing, make sure to tag me on Instagram, Facebook if you do your own design. The link to the website will be in the description as well. As far as I know, it should be darkpeakgraphics.net, and on there you guys will be able to buy some stuff. We're going to have t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, hats, whatever. Some designs will be from the videos, other designs will be completely from scratch, so make sure to sign up over there so you never miss out on new t-shirts, because it won't necessarily always be on YouTube. But I thank you guys very, very much for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Appreciate all the support, and I will see everyone in the next one.